Hello everyone. Today we will gain some basic knowledge about environment and environment law through some basic multiple choice questions. So without wasting any time, let's start with it. The first question is, when is the National Environment Policy Act was signed into a law? Options are A 1st January 1970, B 2nd January 1970, C 1st January 1971, or D 1st January 1972. The correct answer to this question is option A. That is, the National Environment Policy Act was signed into law on 1st January 1970. The law NEPA entails federal agencies to evaluate the environmental effect of proposed action farmer to making decision and to suggest alternatives. The next question is, by NEPA process, federal agencies assess social and dash effects on proposed actions. Option are A. Industrial effects, B. Health effects, C. Economic effects, or D. Chronic effects. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, NEPA process, federal agencies assess social and economic effects on the proposed actions. The application of the policies by NEPA. Federal agencies estimate and analyze the probable risk as well as the alternatives for minimization, sometimes prevention of the threat. The next question, which act is responsible to create and maintain conditions under which man and nature can exist in harmony? Options are EI, EIA Act, B. RCRS, C. CERCLA, or D. NEPA. The correct answer to this question is option D. That is, NEPA is responsible to create and maintain conditions under which man and nature can exist in harmony. Explanation: Title 1 of NEPA contains a declaration of national environment policy. This policy requires the federal government to use all practicable means to create and maintain conditions under which man and nature can exist in productive harmony. The next question is, what do section 102 entitled of NEPA Act requires? Options are A. Risk assessment, B. Incorporate environmental consideration in the planning, C. Risk analysis, or D. Site cleanup. The correct answer to this question is option B. That is, the section 102 in NEPA Act requires incorporation of environmental considerations in their planning. Section 102 in Title 1 of the Act requires federal agencies to incorporate environmental considerations in their planning and decision making through a systematic interdisciplinary approach. The next question is, who signed NEPA into law on January 1st, 1970? Options are A. William, B. Benjamin, C. Nixon, or D. Luthor. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, Nixon signed NEPA into a law on 1st January 1970. President Nixon signed NEPA on 1st January 1970. NEPA set forth a bold new vision for America and his basic national charter for protection of the environment. The next question is, which law was the first major environmental law in the United States and is often called the Magna Carta of Federal Environmental Laws? The options are A. RCRA, B. NEPA, C. OSHA, or D. FIFRA. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is NEPA. Was the first major environmental law in the United States and is often known as the Magna Carta of the Environmental Laws. EPA requires federal agencies to assess the environmental effect on their proposed action prior to making decision. The ultimate goal of NEPA processes is to foster excellent action that protects, restores, and enhances our environment. The next question is Dash established the Council on Environmental Quality CEQ. Fill the fill in the blanks with the correct option. The options are A. NPL, B. HRC, C. RCRA, or D. NEPA. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is, NEPA established the Council on Environmental Quality. NEPA established Council for Environmental Quality within the Executive Office of the President to ensure that the federal agencies meet their obligations under NEPA. The CEQ oversees NEPA implementation, principally through issuing guidance and interpreting regulations that implement NEPA's procedural requirements. The next question is the National Environmental Policy Act (NEPA) is dash environmental law. Correct. Select the correct options. Option A, United States, B, United Kingdom, C, Indian, or D, Australian. The correct answer to this question is option A. That is, the National Environmental Policy Act is a United States environmental law. This act promotes the enhancement of the environment and also established the President's Council for Environmental Quality, that is CEQ. The next question is NEPA's most significant outcome was that all executive federal agencies prepare which of the following? Options are A. Draft report, B. Federal report, C. EA and EIS, or D. EEEs. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is EA and EIS. According to NEPA, all federal agencies should prepare environmental assessment EA and environmental risk statement EIS, which states the environmental risk by the proposed actions. The next question is what are the three levels of analysis that federal agencies must undertake to comply with the law of NEPA? Options are A. CATEX, EA, and FONSI, B. FEX, IA, and SOF, C. CATEX and EIS, or D. EIS and EIA. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is CATEX, EA, and FONSI. The three level analysis are category exclusion. The first, that is CATEX, environmental assessment, that is EA, and finding a no significant impact, that is FONSI, or either drafting or environmental impact statement, that is EIS. The next question is what is the purpose of environmental analysis? Options are A. To determine possible impact, B. To determine possible benefits, C. To analysis, or D. To clean up. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is, the purpose of economic assessment is to determine the possible impacts. The purpose of the environmental analysis is basically to analyze the possible impact on the environment due to action of the proposed project and also to suggest alternatives if available. The next question is the dash has played a key part in the development of the EIS process. Options are A. CIQ, B. CIA, C. CEQ, or D. COA. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is, the CEQ has played a key part in the development of the EIS process. The CEQ regulations initiates by calling for federal agencies to assimilate NEPA requirements with other planning requirements. This ensures that all decisions are insightful of environmental values, avoid possible delays, and eliminates probable future conflicts. The next question is, who introduced Federal Permitted Improvement Act of 2015 bill? Options are A. Rob Portman, B. Rob Sculliman, C. Nicholas Dixon, or D. Newsy Higer. The correct answer to this question is option A, that is Rob Portman introduced Federal Permitted Improvement Act of 2015 bill. The bill was introduced in January 2015. The Republican Senator Rob Portman introduced the Federal Permitted Improvement Act of 2015. The bill would form several requirements and procedures designed to advance the completion of NEPA related reviews. It also includes creation of a Federal Permitted Improvement Council. The next question is, NEPA sets federal environment policy. It does not specifically command the protection of the environment. The statement is A true or B false. The correct answer to this question is B, that is, the NEPA sets federal environment policy and it does not specifically command the protection of environment is false. Uh, NEPA examines that federal agencies consider the impact of action on the environment, discuss probable alternatives, and disclose its finding to the public.